Hey, what's up, seekers? Wanugee GoldenDragonFortunes, your K-Rap psychic, and we're going to do a little reading for Wendy of Red Velvet. So stay tuned. Come on, Rev Loves, come on in. Let's see how Wendy's doing. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, seekers? Looking in the future, peekers. You K-pop fakers coming round and see us every weekers. Yo, die-hard K-pop fans, I want to know your stance. Just let us know your bias, then go ahead, try us.
안녕하세요, 여러분. Wanugee for the GoldenDragonFortunes, and we're here, like I said, to see what's going on with Wendy. Now, you know, I started doing this video just before Christmas, and then all of a sudden Wendy, of course, got this tragic accident at one of these broadcast shows in Korea. She fell down. I mean, I don't know. I'm very upset. I'm sure you are. Rev Loves are too, because she was just basically said, go down this place, and you know, she walked down this hallway that's 8 feet high and poor lighting and no support, no instructions, and it wasn't ready, and she fell off. She fell 8 feet, and you know, got multiple fractures, wrist, pelvis, face. So I'm really upset. I mean, this is unimaginable how it could happen on a stage like that. You know, kind of disgusting that they don't think about the idols and they don't give the care and the instructions and look at safety first. And they're just too busy. You know, I don't know. It's weird. I was at a rehearsal. I mean, she had already filmed her new song, Psycho, with her partners in Red Velvet, and it was a great stage. But then, you know, when they were rehearsing for another situation where she's going to sing with other idols, they just didn't prepare very well. So I'm really upset, you know, and it's really kind of put a damage into the Psycho. You know, it's a great bop, and really put a dent into the promotion they can do and all those things. I mean, what kind of a Christmas present is this? What kind of a new how is it to start a new year? So I'm wearing wearing my bathrobe, you know, here as kind of, you know, just kind of being in support of Wendy, because she's probably going to be wearing robes for a while here as well as she recuperates. So we all, hey Wendy, if you're watching this, you know, we all love you. Rev Loves love you. Everybody loves you, and we support you, and we hope that you get well soon and recover fully, even though these are severe injuries. So we want the best for you. Anyway, so I started this reading. I'll put in some parts that, you know, the history of her that I already did, and in the original, and then I'm going to put in the update in my robe, just to be with Wendy, be at one with Wendy as far as and Rev Loves, as far as supporting her in her robes and as she recuperates. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Been really busy. Sorry I haven't posted that many videos because I've been doing a lot of corporate parties. You know, here in the San Francisco Bay Area, there's a lot of company parties, holiday parties, tech parties, you know, all these different big companies. We do a lot of, you know, GoldenDragonFortunes does a lot of fortune telling at parties, looking at the future, and so it's a really busy time of year. And then of course I'm busy with clients. So sorry I haven't posted that much, but I'm here for you today, and we're going to be doing, like I said, we're going to be doing Wendy of Red Velvet. You know, I guess her, you know, Wendy is her stage name. Her real name is seong-wan Son, or I think earlier in her career she went with Wendy Sean. But you know, Wendy, just a little story, if you Rev Loves don't know her whole story, she was born in Korea, but when she was in her 5th grade or so, she was sent with her older sister, and they went to Canada. They went to a little place called Brockville, Canada, in right off the St. Lawrence River. There's only about 20,000 people, so it's a small town, nice, calm, small, you know, town on the river, and has its own charm. And she was there. She was there with her older sister, and I guess this is where she learned English. You know, in Brockville in Canada, you know, is about 3 hours east of Toronto on the St. Lawrence River, about 1 hour south of Ottawa, the capital of Canada, and about 2 hours, you know, Montreal is about 2 hours further east up the St. Lawrence River as well. So Wendy went to Brockville, Canada. Then later she moved to Minnesota, to Faribault, Minnesota, which is another small town, well, about 20,000 people. So, you know, I used to go to Canada back in my corporate days. You know, I used to go to Canada 6 times a year. And we used to go to Toronto. Right outside Toronto, there's a big, huge suburb called Mississauga. And I used to go there and do my business and get my Tim Hortons, Tim Hortons coffee and chili. Canadians love their Tim Hortons. Anyway, and then she eventually went back up to Richmond Hill, which is a northern suburb north of Toronto. It's about, it's a nice upscale suburb. It's about 200,000 people, so it's a bigger place. I've been to Richmond Hill, it's a nice area. And so she spent some time there. And then in her career, you know, she, number one, she's very talented. I think she came from a musical family, so she's very talented. She knows how to play the guitar. I mean, she plays the guitar and can sing like a folk singer. She can play the piano. She can play the flute. She can play the saxophone. So she was, I guess, you know, in school, she was active in all these things. You know, and then about 2011, she there was a global auditions for Cube Entertainment. And so she submitted a video audition. And out of 5,000 people, I mean, I think she made the 15 finalists. But she didn't go with Cube. She didn't quite make it. And so a couple years later, supposedly, YG Entertainment, she auditioned for them, but didn't get selected. And then roughly about 2012, SM Entertainment had a global audition in Canada, and she auditioned for that. And she finally got selected in around 2012 for SM Entertainment. And she, you know, trained for about 2 years, which is very short for Red Velvet, because you know, Seulgi, I think she trained at SM for maybe 5 or 6 years. Irene trained for 5 years. Wendy only trained for 2 years. And then she was part of this pre-debut group called SM Rookies. And so she did a little, you know, thing with SM Rookies. She did a little musical event, so she got a little bit of exposure there. That was in 2014. That was in early 2014, maybe March 2014. She did this little video for SM Rookies. And then about a few months later, in August 1st of 2014, she debuted with Red Velvet. There was only 4 of them then, and they debuted in August 1st without Yeri. Yeri was added later, and you know, that caused commotion with Red Velvet. Some of you Rev Love fans, you know, yeah, do we like Yeri? Do we don't like Yeri? But they originally August launched with 4 people, debuted with 4 people. 4 members, kind of like Blackpink. They did 2 years later. It was August as well, August 2016. Anyway, so then she, you know, she's been, you know, somehow I get the feeling, even though she's talented, you know, great talent, great voice. I think she has probably one of the strongest voices in Red Velvet as far as singing. I always get the feeling like she's not really got the, you know, the exposure or the, I don't know, somehow she's not getting the popularity or getting the, maybe that's just because it's the Korean market prefers Irene or prefers Joy or Seulgi, maybe Yeri, but I don't know, Wendy, maybe she's just a little different, or, you know, somehow she doesn't quite fit in, or I get the sense that she kind of it looks like she's kind of left out almost, not quite included, or she kind of marches to her own drummer, I guess, a little bit. We'll talk about that later. But you know, she has got a lot of exposure, and which I didn't know about that much. Maybe you Rev Loves do, but she did a lot of you know, some TV show songs. She did a little duet with a rapper named Hyuk Ji-nam, and they did a little OST for, you know, some high school kind of drama, and she also did quite a few TV shows. You know, she was on We Got Married as a kind of a commentator. In fact, she was commentating when Joy was part of We Got Married and was, you know, kind of getting married to this other idol, and you know, Wendy's there commenting on it, you know, as they do on these variety shows. She was also on King of Masked Singer. She was on King of Masked Singer. She did that. She sang on that show, and you know, she did another one called Trick or True. another TV kind of variety show with Irene. So she's had some exposure, and she did a collab. She did a duet with Eric Nam, who Eric Nam was on, We Got Married with Solar from Mambo Moo, but Eric and Wendy did a little duet on Sketchbook, and maybe this is where there it is, right, showing it back here. So they're very cute, and so she's gotten some exposure. And then the thing that I didn't even know about, which is huge, but somehow I didn't hear about it. John, she did a duet with John Legend. John Legend, the American singer, who is really becoming a legend, because John Legend, he's one of only 15 people who has got an EGOT, E-G-O-T. And what the EGOT means is, in fact, he's the only black male that's gotten the EGOT. EGOT is getting an Emmy for American television, getting a Grammy for music, getting an Oscar for Academy Awards for movies, and a Tony for Broadway stage. So only one of 15 people who got an EGOT. And he's only 40 years old. And so they did a duet last year, in 2018. And this is a beautiful song. I encourage you to go look at it. It's called Written in the Stars or something like that. But it's a beautiful duet, kind of moody, kind of nice, kind of slow jam duet. But I never heard about it. I mean, it's got 10 million views. But SM Entertainment, man, that could have been huge. You could have promoted that more and got Wendy and John Legend. I mean, wow, that is big time. And didn't hear about it. All I heard was the Dua Lipa maybe, and Kiss and Make Up. I didn't hear about Written in the Stars with Wendy and John Legend. Anyway, so I was shocked, but go check out the video. It's great. I love that song. It's a nice song, well written, kind of simple, but really nice. Anyway, that's kind of her history for Wendy. So now we're going to do a little reading for Wendy, and see what's going on with her. We're going to do 4 different questions. We're going to see just in general how things are going. Then we're going to kind of look at her health and see how that's going. And then we're going to look at maybe her career, and also maybe look at her love life. So you ready, Rev Loves? We're going to do that right now in my bathrobe. Maybe you're going to be in your robe. Get comfortable. Be in support of Wendy. Let's all get in our robes and get comfortable, so she can feel comfortable and not, because it's going to be a long road. Anyway, so I'm going to start here, and this is going to be representing her career, her overall life over the next year or so for 2020. And the first 2 tiles say that there's a lot of emphasis on authority and some difficulties. The north tile shows up, represents some difficulties, cold wind blowing from the north. So obviously, she's got to recuperate, got to work through the issues of her health and her injuries. The tiger represents authority, so she has to kind of work with her medical professionals and with her agency and maybe all the powers to be to kind of work through this tragic accident and try to get past it. And that's going to be over the next several months, next 2-3 months. That's going to be an emphasis, more or less. As we go out a little bit farther, it says that there's going to be a little bit more healing that may be happening at that point. This represents healing. This tree of bamboo. It's called the 3-legged frog, but like the frog's hopping around on 3 legs, just like Wendy's got to recuperate with those 3 injuries, those 3 fractures. But the healing is happening, and both physically and emotionally. And it seems like there's going to be a little bit more flexibility that may be available for her. The willow tree represents flexibility, the 9 of bamboo. And if you go out a little bit farther, maybe starting in the second half of the year, there's going to be some seeds that are going to be, a door is opening up. The inner tile shows up, represents the door may be opening for her. And then this is called the farmer. So there's going to be some seeds planted for, that maybe develop and grow over time that might become into something that could be harvested down the road in the year. And then if you go to the last couple tiles overall, it says that there's going to be a lot of busy energy. Maybe she's going to be working with others in a collaborative way, a cooperative way, like a beehive or anthill. This 7 of circles represents this cooperative energy, and something new is coming up. The farm represents to start something new. So that's just the overall for her. Now let's look at the career. kind of overview of the career, and we're going to do it the same way. So the first two tiles represents, again, maybe some authority, maybe some paperwork. So the tiger shows up, represents this authoritative energy. Maybe it's her medical professionals, maybe it's her agency, maybe it's others that may be involved in the situation. The white tile suggests that maybe there's some written communications going to be important and emphasized over the next 3 months. I don't know, maybe it has to do with the situation at hand, or maybe there's some legal issues there, perhaps, liability issues, things that have to be worked out, and that seems to be obviously has a kind of her career on hold as all that works out. It does say though that there's going to be some healing done. The 3 of bamboo shows up again. This represents healing, and the 7 of bamboo, the turtle, says things are moving in the right direction, kind of slowly but surely as you go through maybe the spring, and then as you go out a little bit more, it says maybe as you start the second half of the year, there's going to be some good luck or good fortune. The dragon represents good luck or good fortune. And the phoenix suggests that she's going to have a chance to maybe feel like she's ready to rise again and kind of reinvent herself in a new way after all that she's been through. And the next 2 tiles suggest that, she's going to be busy. Again, the insect shows up. There's going to be like a busy beehive or anthill, maybe with red velvet with her girls or with her members, because it's a collaborative kind of energy, and that's going to change the way where she spends her time, the energy about where she's been. Obviously not all laid up, recuperating. Now she's out and maybe doing some different venues or doing different things toward the end of the year, maybe last quarter. So that's her career. So now the next ones are about her health. There's going to be some difficult times. The north tile is blowing some cold wind through and making it challenging for her health over the next couple of months. But the healing tile does show up. It says there is healing that's going on over the next 2 or 3 months. She's going to feel like things are slowly moving in the right direction. The turtle shows up, represents things moving in the right direction, on the right path, but at its own pace. But the pine suggests that there's going to be some strength, more strength that she's going to feel, her ability to maybe stand tall a little bit more and make things happen, probably in the second quarter of 2020. And as you go out a little bit farther, it says that there's going to be some more busy energy for her, being able to do things with others perhaps a little bit more, and be able to get out and change where she spends her time, change the energy about where she is and her pattern of her routine that maybe was there. And it says there's going to be some good luck, good fortune. The pearl shows up, says there's going to be something nicer, better that maybe she's going to be doing in the fourth quarter, and that's going to make her happy. She'll be doing something that makes her happy, finally. So it's a rough year for her, but it's going to get better. Just a terrible way to start it. And then we added this fourth question, which is kind of just, her love life, what's going on there. Obviously, there's some priorities that are, and love is not one of them. At least not love in a romantic way, but obviously love from all her fans and all her members and her agencies and all her friends and family. That's important. It says that right now, it's really about her. The East tile is about her. This represents her, and that she needs to take care of herself, and do what's best for her and just focus on her healing. And the North tile says, as far as love, I mean, that's difficult. That's not really in the question right now as far as a romantic kind of situation so much, because she's got other priorities. But it says that there's going to be some, some documents or paperwork or written communications, or maybe these are just final x-rays, and maybe in about the second quarter of the year, maybe in the spring, April, May, June. And things seem like they're going to be moving in the right direction. She's taking the long-term view. The jade shows up, represents something that has some intrinsic value and they could improve in time. So it's going to take a little bit more perseverance and effort, just for her to feel where she's at, stronger in her own self-confidence and how she feels about herself and her beauty and her abilities and talent, because this was a big shake to all of those things. It does say that about second half of the year, maybe around June, July, August, September, there's going to be maybe some strength, her strength, maybe to make things happen. The pine represents her strength, but it also can represent maybe some young male energy. So maybe there's something going on here. The insect shows up again also. So there's going to be a lot of busy energy maybe with others, doing things more. Maybe there's more activities that she's able to do, and there may be, because she's stronger, and there may be some male energy there too, young male energy. And it says that, as you kind of go out toward the end of the year, there's going to be some good luck or good fortune. The dragon represents good luck or good fortune. And the pearl shows up. It says maybe something nicer or special or more refined and precious may be available energy-wise in her love life about a year from now. I mean, about the last quarter of the year, maybe 9 months from now, 12 months from now. So that's what it says for her reading. So they all kind of are similar. They all kind of fit together somehow in the different aspects of her life. And so maybe we'll just, hey, Wendy, if you're watching this, hope good luck to you. We wish the best for you. And maybe for a little bit of fun, see who you're compatible with. Who is Wendy Red Velvet compatible with? I just did a little very cursory quick check of 20 different idols. 20 different idols, born in 1993 and 1994. And that's going to be what I'm going to do next, without my robe. So, hey, stay tuned and check it out. Now, just to let you know, I did a little, I did some numerology in the last video I posted about Jungkook and his 12 ships of Jungkook. And we used numerology as one tool to kind of look at compatibility. And so I did a little quick research on numerology for Wendy. And Wendy, it turns out to be a number 1. And a number 1 personality is, pretty, they like to be leaders. They like to make things happen. So sometimes they can come across a little bit, bossy to others, or kind of maybe stressed out or a little bit highly strung. And, but they're talented and they're determined and they're willful. So, that's certainly, Wendy. She is definitely hardworking and very talented, and obviously she had to do a lot of work to get to that talent. But she likes to express herself in ways that have a little bit of leadership. But obviously, being in a 5-member group, being in Korean culture, she has some of that Western kind of independence in her from her time in Canada and the U.S. But she has to kind of acquiesce to the culture that she lives in, which is in Korea. But she still has that kind of energy. So that's a number 1 personality, roughly. And so I checked to see, who she might be compatible with based on numerology. She's compatible, best compatibility in general is with a number 3 or a number 5, based on the birth date of that person. And so I checked 20 different idols. 20 different idols that were born either the year before her in 93 or the same year as her in 94. And I checked 9 different idols in 93 and 11 different idols in 94 to see if there was any compatibility for her. And before I did that, I kind of checked the compatibility of her and her Red Velvet members. And, there are no 3s and 5s in Red Velvet. There's another 1. Joy's a 1, and so sometimes 1 and 1 are too headstrong. So maybe they don't see each other on the same way all the time. They just get headstrong. Yeri's a 9, and Sogi's an 8, and Irene's a 7. So, there's not the best harmony as far as numerology, as far as compatibility in that group. I mean, obviously they get along and they work with things, and they've been together for 5 years, maybe 2 years before that for at least 7 years. Yeri came a little bit later, but most of them have been together for 7 years at least. So anyway, that's just kind of an interesting note that there's not a lot of compatible energy with Red Velvet as far as numerology. And so I looked at all the other idols, or a lot of other idols, 9 in 1993 that could be compatible, and there were none. There were no optimal compatibilities in numerology. Yeah, in 1993, even there wasn't any 3s or 5s, in compatibility in numerology of the 9 guys I picked or I looked at. The ones that you would know, the major ones. So I looked at 1994, so her year, same year, and there were maybe 5 people that she might be better fit with compatibility based on numerology than just your average person. Not in any particular order, but here they are. The top five most compatible, potentially, for Wendy of other idols. They're all born in '94. So the first one is JB. Jaebun of GOT7. So JB of GOT7, he's the number 3. So 3 and 1 kind of get along. He was born on January 6th, '94. And that's a good match, 1 and 3. The next one is Sehun, Sehun of XO. He's a 3, and he was born on April 12th, 1994. The third one is J, Kim Jinhwan of Icon. Yeah, remember Icon? You know, the YG group? Kim Jinhwan of Icon, he's a 5. Now, supposedly 1 and 3 are good, but 5 is maybe even a little better because they're a little bit more dynamic personality, but they have the patience to deal with the 1. And he was born on February 7th, 1994, so he was born like 2 weeks before Wendy. But he's a good match. The fourth one that could be compatible is Hyungwon. Chae Hyungwon of Monsta X. He's a 3, and he was born January 15th, 1994. So he's, 5 weeks older than Wendy. And then the fifth one is Ju Honey. Yes, Ju Honey of Monsta X. Lee Ju-hyun. He's a 3 also, so he might match up pretty good. And he was born on October 6th, 1994. So he's 8 months younger. And there's 2 others that could fit pretty well. Maybe, sort of. Maybe not as good as those 5, but there's 2 others that could be possible. Better than, not. And one is Taemin, Lee Taemin of SHINee. The guy with all the abs, and he's doing a lot of independent work now. Solo work. But yeah, he's got a body that anyway. Taemin is he's a 2 in numerology, so 1 and 2 could get along. He was born in 1993. He was born on July 18th, 1993. So he's a Cancer, but he's a number 2. And the next one that could be kind of a match is Kai. Kai of XO. I don't know what Jenny's going to say, but Kai is a 2, and so 2 and 1 kind of go okay. Kai was born he's also January 14th, 1994. So his birthday's coming up. So is Jenny's. I think she's the 16th. So be interesting to see. But they could get along, maybe better than not. So it's interesting. Those are the 7, perhaps 5 to 7, that could potentially be compatible with Wendy. I don't know if there's a relationship there, any ships there. Maybe you tell me. You tell me what's going on. Maybe you got some ship clues. That's Wendy. So that's all for now. Rev loves. Wendy. Hey, if you're watching, we wish you the best. Recuperate fully and as best you can. And we all support you. We all love you. You're very talented, and I'm sure all your friends and family are there to support you, and all your fans, your Rev Love fans, are there to support you too. The whole K-pop community. And that was just a kind of overview for you. I hope if you're watching this, maybe you're in bed and being entertained. So that's great. But that's all for now. If you want to make some comments, you want to make some suggestions about what you want to see next. Also, if you want to maybe know about if you're compatible with one of your favorite idols, just let us know. Just let us know your birth date, your hour, your day, your month, your year, the city, and the country. We'll do that for free if you like and subscribe. If you like and subscribe, give us your information, then we'll give you some answers back, and we'll respond to what your compatibility is with your favorite idol. So in the meantime, like and subscribe, and stay tuned because we're going to put out more of these videos. And until next time, wishing you all good fortunes.
I'm your K-rap psychic. Try me twice, you'll like it. My name is Wanugee. OGs call me Wanugee. I'm a wise fortune teller and a really mellow fella. Ask me about your favorite idol. See their future, see what's vital.